Boys and girls of every age, wouldn't you like to see something strange? Come with us and you will see this our town of Halloween. Whoop, whoop. Hey guys, if there's something you should definitely know about me is the fact that I love autumn and I love Halloween. Autumn is my year. That's everything to me, okay? I also love Halloween very much. My mom used to throw me like Halloween birthday parties, and they were interesting. But what I love the most about the Halloween birthday parties was mostly just spending the time with my mom running around. So I wanted to start off this first October with a spooky story. Okay, so I'm a very spiritual person. I'm agnostic. So I'm not Catholic. I was raised Catholic. I'm not Baptist. I'm not Hindu. I'm not of any particular religion. But I'm a very spiritual person, and there are times that I've seen some very weird stuff that just makes me question reality. And so I hope this story is a little more entertaining and just putting it out there. I mean, at this point, if you don't know I'm weird, something's wrong with you if you haven't recognized it. I'm just throwing it out there. So let's begin. This is when I was in the 4th grade, right? And a friend of mine was having like a sleepover because it was her birthday, and she was one of those psycho Libras. Nothing against Libras, I'm saying some of y'all are just a little whacked out. And so we all did this, like Halloween birthday party thing, and it was a lot of fun. So we were playing around, doing kid stuff. I don't even remember much of the party because of all the stuff that I remember that happened afterwards, right? So the girl lived upstairs above me, right? And let's call her Tiffany. Sounds like a good name, right? So Tiffany lived right upstairs, and I had begged my mom, like, oh, it's her birthday, can I please stay upstairs? Can I please stay upstairs? Like, I was all excited. I was like, yeah, slumber party! So what ended up happening for the slumber party, my mom goes, go ahead, go upstairs. It's me, Tiffany, her cousin, let's call her Gina, and I think 2 other girls, right? Now, Gina was the oldest one of the bunch. She was like in middle school, so we all like looked up to her like, well, what did the big kids do? So here's the thing. We're sitting there, we're having a bunch of fun, we're joking around, and then finally someone decides to play light as a feather, stiff as a board. So we're like, why not? Have fun, right? So I'm mostly sitting in the back kind of like watching everyone, and like Gina was very serious about it. She's like, it's supposed to work. And I remember thinking, only in the craft, but sure, whatever. So what ended up happening, we were just goofing off, and I learned a lot more about Tiffany's grandmother than what I was anticipating. So here's what happens. We finally get the chance to go to bed. We're, laying in the bed because her mom's like now yelling at us because it's too late. It's Halloween. We're watching a bunch of horror movies. We're having fun. And they weren't even like real horror movies because, for the record, I grew up on horror films as a comedy. So horror films don't bother me. Like, I can genuinely watch them all day and not have a single nightmare. In fact, I'll have a dream where I'm kicking Freddy Krueger's butt. Like, that doesn't affect me. So I just want to put that out there as I explain what happens. So what ends up happening is we finally get into the bed, and let me paint out the room for you, okay? So when you first walk into the room, the light switch is right next to the door. This is important, right? So right underneath the light switch was the hamper. Across the room towards you lovely beautiful people was the day bed, right? So she'd pull the other bed out, so the 2 girls slept there, 3 girls slept there, and then her cousin and I, Gina, were on the top bunk, right? Because we thought we were cool. So next to being on the top bunk of the day bed, I was the one next to the window. So what ends up happening is that we're all joking around, and very casually, I don't even know how to describe the feeling that came over the room. I became so uncomfortable, just flat out uncomfortable, and I'm just sitting there like, wow, this room's a little on edge, right? So it's what do you want? Why are you in my video? Hey, I'm talking to you. I'm wearing black. Why do you always gotta do that when I'm wearing black? Go somewhere. Like, scoot. Say hi. Let it show everyone how fat you are. Hi. What ended up happening is that the room to me just felt odd and just kind of off, because it went from being fun and us talking to each other about random things, asking Gina about like what happens when you go to middle school, you know, stuff that seemed really important to a 4th grader. So I'm laying in the bed, right? So the window's here, the other girls are down there on the other part of the day bed, and the door is right over there, right next to the light switch. I happen to be laying in the bed like doo 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 doo, and I turned my head, and I kid you not, I saw a gargoyle sitting on top of her hamper, right? It's hunched over, it's sitting there, it had red eyes. I mean red as fire, I am not kidding. So I'm laying in the bed thinking to myself, maybe I'm imagining this. Like, I'm freaking out in my head, and I'm trying to find like every logical reason why there would be a gargoyle there. I really thought like my imagination was like running along with me, and I was like, it's gotta be. No one else sees it, it's just you. Or maybe you're going crazy. Oh God, are they gonna put you in a psych house? Because these are thoughts that I had at 4th grade, so don't question me. Don't judge me. However, the part that gets creepy is the fact that Gina, the eldest one, goes, guys, I have to ask you this really important question. So we're all like, oh my God, the oldest kid's gonna ask us a question. Mind you, I still have not taken my eyes off of this thing. I'm just staring at it from across the room, just kind of like, yeah, Gina, what do you want to ask us? There's nothing wrong. What's wrong? So she goes, I just need to know if everyone can see that sitting in the corner. My heart stopped, because then I realized I wasn't the only one in the room staring at this thing. So then everyone gets dead silent, and it's all of us just sitting there kind of just going, yeah, we saw it. And then there was a realization that we thought if we just ignored it, it would just go away. So, don't get me wrong, I love Gargoyles, the cartoon, I loved it, but I wasn't too fond of seeing one in person. So, it's just, they're just sitting there staring at us. I can see it moving its head, literally just looking at all of us, and then it locked its eyes on me, which I was not too fond of, just throwing it out there, right? So, we're all quiet, and we're all sitting there trying to like, hey, what do you want? Like, none of us know what to do. That's what the other girls are doing. Let me explain to you what I was doing in my head. In my head, I was looking at him like, all right, judging by his size, if he eats the big one, the other girl, he might get full by like 2.5 girls, and I have just enough time to jump out of the window, because my mom is on the floor right below us, hit the floor, and then bang on her window. Because my mom's bedroom was actually right below this girl's bedroom. This was like in a private house, by the way, so it's not like I was playing Lara Croft at that moment. So in my head, I was like, well, he's obviously gonna eat us, so he might get full after he finishes with Tiffany, and I might have enough time to kind of just go, Mom! So I know it sounds wrong, but really survival of the fittest, right? So it's just staring, right? And I'm getting even more creeped out because it's just staring at me out of all the bunch, and I'm just kind of like, the others are far much more tasty. I mean, if you look at how thin I am, I'm obviously not that nutritious, so I feel like you should go for that one. Good, classy me. I would have sold on anyone at that point. I'm in the 4th grade. I know nothing about loyalty. So what ends up happening is we're like, we'll cut the light on. Someone needs to cut the light on. Now here's where the trouble comes in. The hamper it's sitting on is right next to the freaking light switch, right? So we're all trying to like pull straws, like, all right, who's gonna go over there? And of course all of us were like, Gina, you know, you're the oldest, and obviously the most mature thing to do would be to walk towards a creature that obviously looks very real to us right now and cut the light on. You go. So none of us moved, and finally she decided, okay, I'm gonna be the brave one. She's literally walking like, and she's extending her arm very slowly, and she gets close enough that you can almost see her like almost caress its face. And then she sees the light, and she finally just goes, the light's on, right? Vamooshed. Gone. Nothing. Nothing is there at all. All of us, we have this moment of relief. we start laughing because we're like, oh my god, we're so stupid. What were we looking at? It obviously has to be a reflection or something. Like we started adding like logic that didn't even make any sense just to cover up the fact that what we saw might have been real. So, you know when something scares you so bad, you're like, that was probably because the teddy bear happens to look like a gargoyle even though it looks like a bear, so obviously we all must have envisioned the same thing. Like it was that kind of like crazy logic, right? So here's the thing, right? She finally, Gina Sanders, she's relieved, she's joking, and then she makes this dreadful mistake, right? So she leans over and she cuts the light off. I kid you not, this thing is still sitting there. So we all gasped and kind of like screamed for a minute. It was like, ah! Oh, are you serious? So she screams, she jumps back, and like what the creepy part was the fact that this thing, right? So this gargoyle is sitting there, right? And I kid you not, he goes from like looking over at me and turns his head up like at her like, what was that supposed to do? And none of us knew what to do at this point. At this point, we were just like, I don't even know if I want to sleep in this room tonight. I don't want to sleep in this room tonight. like we were terrified. And at this point, of course, now we realize, oh, the parents are sleeping. And now we spend the rest of the night just kind of like sitting up staring at it like, so who do you think he's gonna eat first? And again, I'm still on my main game plan. Like if he starts eating us, I gotta get out the window. I'm closest to the window. I'll survive the fall. Like, that was my logic. And I was like, I'm sorry guys. Ouch. So it was a very scary like moment for me like as a kid, and it was so insane. And what freaks me out even when I look back at it is the fact that there's no reason for all four of us to have seen the same thing and tried to ignore it like it wasn't there. So being that it's Halloween, I want you guys to tell me your spooky story or something creepy that you saw that creeped you out. And just as a side note, I kind of just want to know, like, when people see ghosts, why don't they ever have like additional wardrobe? Like how come there's never like a celebrity haunting of like a sexy ghost? You know what I mean? Like, you know, I'm just saying, like, 'cause they're always like in white, lady in white, a man in black, a lady in black. Like, I mean, there's got to be other colors in the underworld. I mean, I figure like if I was gonna go down there, I mean, I'm gonna like want to flaunt. You know, I'm just saying. I would just throw it out there. I would like to see a ghost wearing a blue shirt every now and then. I'm just throwing it out there. I love those shows. But thank you so much for watching and listening to my crazy spooky story. And there's gonna be more Halloweeny stuff because this is my month, and this is the month that makes me the most happiest. I kid you not. I grew up with Wednesday Addams as my role model. That should tell you a lot about me. Make sure you subscribe. Comment down there. Tell me what you think of my Halloween story. Do you think maybe like I was freaking out? You think it was really a part of my imagination? Because it wasn't. 4 of us saw it. 4, I tell ya. But yeah, tell me the things that that you saw that might have spooked you out, and make sure you subscribe. Share my story, because I'm pretty sure the other girls are out there who are gonna confirm, like, yeah, we saw that thing, and we still don't know what it is. I don't care how cool and great the cartoon gargoyles was. It is not cool to see one in person. Although years later I found out this was supposed to be there for protection, which makes me wonder, what was he protecting us from?